Hey guys, it's Futon here, and today we're going to be bringing you a guide on Group Elite Dungeon 3. I'm only going to be focusing today on the bosses because it's really the only hard part about it. Just wet the mobs at your own speed. It's up to you what you want to do. I will probably be making a clearing guide later, and then correlating everything into one. But I don't want to get stuff out on release as soon as possible because I did have some people. I took someone last night and they extremely struggled on Ambassador, and it was really hard when they weren't doing the mechanics or anything to even carry. So I figured this is the time. We're going to go ahead and get this guide out. I'm going to go over brief summaries of the bosses, and literally the rest of the video is me dropping the bosses that quickly. And I'm not in no try hard gear. I'm in Virtus. I'm in all this, and it's really just knowing the mechanics and watching it over and over. It's really simple to do. The reaction time isn't much, and I do all this on a Titan. So yeah, and this is the inventory I use for the most part. I normally bank once or twice, depending on if we kill the mini bosses, because some of the mini bosses can strike. But this is generally what I use. And the reason why there's 4 flasks is because I use it from start to end. I normally don't bank in most cases, so I use all the flasks if I do remember, because I'm still getting used to Titan specking this. But general, this is the kind of gear setup you're looking at for Elite Dungeons 3. If you're going to be tryharding, it's up to you what you're going to do. Like I said, you can go with a yak and just don't take the summoning pots and just take more food. It just would mean slower kills, but it's not hard to survive anything here. Other than that, it's just really simple. Runs are about, when we were going blitzing with Manny, we were doing 12-minute runs, but then they added the B mechanic, so add an extra minute and a half to that. Because we were getting about 2-minute ambassadors, but I don't know what we were fucking up with. But either way, it gets to the point of yeah, it's not really that hard to do these. It's very quick. In fact, this is probably the quickest elite dungeon besides Siriu. Our elite dungeon 1 is kind of fast. I mean, we are testing it earlier, but whatever. So it's easy. Just focus on what I'm saying in the guides, and just if you have to, watch it over and over for the sections. And anyway, hopefully this is helpful to you. And as I know, like I said, clearing is easy. Just clear them. It's not nothing hard. You get more GP the more you clear anyway. So yeah. Other than that, thank you guys for watching this, and hopefully this is helpful to you. Okay, we're going into the first boss now, the Harassing Leviathan. This boss is really quick if you're decent DPS. Basically, you want to stand to the side. You never want to stand in the middle here because he gets a spawn of Poison Breath right off the get-go. That deals 6k attack, so this sun around here, and then, yeah, that's basically all there really is to this. Drop down the DPS. He's either going to swing his head left or right. It is random. It wasn't at the beginning. Generally, he mainly doesn't do it at the right. He does it on the right first for just more than likely. But as you see there, just move to the side and then just let him swipe. Let him then move to the other side instantly and let him swipe. Is this he really has no mechanics other than those two. We finished this in one cycle, but if you don't finish this in one cycle, just anticipate and then surge back over the poison and just it repeats the same thing over and over what you just saw. It is a continuous cycle. It doesn't stop because we tested out with the poison achievement. And it's basically it's just a DPS dummy that you have to move left and right a little bit. And no, he will only do it 2 times per cycle before he goes over to the other side. And unfortunately for this, we get it down and he gets dropped instantly. Really, this is a simple boss. It's just move to the left, move to the right. Try to stay in the center a little bit for the first strike so you have a little bit of time to react. Okay, so for the boss fight, Terror Cat, the Necromancer, you want to start out with full Adrenaline Prey magic. He starts with the magic strikes, but he can't switch to range after a certain amount of period of time. Just basically stun and drop in a Vone on this boss. It's not really that much difficult. Um, it's really simple because he gets time gated at a certain amount of LP. I believe it's like 180k in this video is when he'll go over to the other part. If you drop him down fast enough, he'll skip placing one of the rifts, which in his trio is not really that bad, but in general, if you get the rift, it's not really a bad thing. It actually is positive because the moment he phases, because you want to focus on him first, you do basically go to the rift, and then you attack the rift to build in between, and then you build on the skeletons. It allows you just to basically keep adrenaline and etc. However, there is some bugs where he can get caught on things because he can't go through, and he'll just stand up there, like you see here in this video, and he will yeah, just wait it out. He will go into a damageable state. I don't know, in a trio it's really not worth killing either one of these ogres, so this actually gets you the achievement from what you're seeing on the screen if you're able to just stay calm and tank a little bit. At the point of this with the second part here, you want to kind of build up to 100% here, and you want to go ahead and do a Nat Instinct into a Sun like you see here in the video. This boss is really just nothing more than a DPS dummy whenever you get to this point. As a note, with the Corpse Carrier, it summons a lot of skeletons. You could turn around and Corruption Blast him and wipe probably almost all of the skeletons out with just a Corruption Blast. So, but you basically want to pray range here at all times if you're taking him. But if you, like I said, you could just turn around if there's too many and do the Corruption Blast and get a free achievement with that as well, as that's how you do the 16 skeletons in 6 seconds or something like that. I can't remember the exact number. But basically, just avoid the ghosts, because if you go through them, they deal you like 1.8k damage, and there is a boss fight. It's plain and simple. Okay, guys, here is the boss fight for the Ambassador. The Ambassador has a lot more mechanics to it, but basically with most of this fight, you're praying range, except for when you get hit by a blue magic ball. You'll see it lining against the 4. No, this was, we're kind of still getting used to the beam every time. It's a little bit different, as you see there, going against her. That's a prey, this prey magic, it hits a good AoE, so you guys want to keep a little bit separate for each other during this part, but basically to start out with the Sun Adrenaline rotation, you want to try to drop it down to 650k as soon as possible, because of, that forces the beam at 650k, and then if you get it down that fast, you won't get another. And then you see the spec here with the blue bar over your head, just surge it to the wall, and then bladed dive, or just run back. That allows you for maximum movement during the um, beams. And now for the black holes, all you really have to do is stun these deep impact. I save my deep impact and my impact during my sun rotation there, just because of in case someone else messes up, so I could at least block 2 of them. And as you see here, we're at 650k. We all gathered near the south to the southeast section, because it's a guarantee the beam won't spawn, and then we go around here and basically just drop these. You can meta if you wish here, but in a trio, it's not really that needed. You're going to get hit with 1 or 2 because of the way the it works. If you get, you have to be a little bit more spaced out in order to get all of them. But it's not really that big of a deal. As you will see, we have our solutions. Now, no, I'm going to go ahead and discuss what you do if you fuck this up. Basically, what happens is that you need to, if you get 2, you need to prep a barricade at the end of this. So you want to say semi-high adren, and then just be ready to shield and barricade. If you get 1 or 2, 1, you could either debil or reflect. I highly suggest reflect, because the ambassador is not immune to reflect damage. As you see there with the 0, it still went in and it still counts. I don't know why, but just switch to a shield and basically just reflect. As you see, the bar above his head will tell you when he's about to fire the spec. After this point, just drop him to 100 or 550k, and then that guarantees you will not get any more beams at all. So at this point, just sun and just drop him down. Do not adren for this part, and I'm pretty sure I don't. So, because I think it through. You want to save your adren for the next sun, because people, we weren't tryharding this, but I'm assuming you are not either. So with a full tryhard, we would have just sunned there and just DPS it down anyway. Because you want to save it for the DPS fight later. Because in a trio with the hands, it's really hard to coordinate the mechanics, and I don't even think it's worth. So at this point, Siriu gets summoned about 400k and will give you a full heal, and then these crustaceans will spawn and slowly start hitting you. They are time based, so the longer it takes for that section, the more they will spawn. If you let 12 spawn and then Siriu gets summoned, it will wipe out everything for the crab achievement, if you were wondering for that. But at this point, he's summoning the hands, and it becomes just a DPS fight. Just make sure you keep your prayer up. And now, note, there is a spec with this that we do not see in the kill. He will shout your name in the chat, say, blah, 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 will fall to whatever. At that point, you need to do one of 2 things. You either need to pray mage and devo, or you need to pray mage and reflect and the bill. Either one, and chug food. Because what it does is it hits you with 5 10k mage hits. back to back. And as you see here, it's starting to spec, and you see her prey mage and Devo. However, the spec doesn't go through because we kill it first, and then yeah. But if it would have went through, it would have hit you for a lot of damage.